Hey guys, what's going on? Today on 814 TV, it's the long-awaited PC build guide. What's up guys? First off, you're going to have to forgive me. The reason this video was so late was because I had a little bit of an issue with my throat. I thought it would be a great idea to get a sore throat a couple days before I was supposed to do the video. So I'm just getting over that right now. So that's why it took a little bit of time for me to get this video together and get the information out to you guys and see what you think. So if you can't hear me very well, I'm going to try to adjust the audio and post a little bit. Hopefully that helps. Let's get started. So first off, there's a million parts to this build, and I can't remember model numbers. There's way too many of them. So I have my computer over here to refer to. So if you guys want to make fun of me because I have to go through my notes, by all means, go ahead. So first things first, we're going to start with the processor. I started with an Intel i7-4930K. It's a 6-core processor running at 3.4 gigahertz stock. The processor will be overclocked. I was going to go with an Intel Xenon, I think that's how you say it, processor, or possibly dual processors, but it was way too expensive. I mean, right now this processor is coming in according to Tiger Direct at $437.27. So that was a pretty good baseline for me. This computer isn't going to be used for gaming either. It's strictly video editing. So with that in mind, keeping that cool is going to be a Corsair H100i liquid cooler. It's an all-in-one self-contained unit. I read a bunch of reviews online on this particular cooler, and it seemed to perform flawless for just about everybody. It's a 240mm radiator, dual fans, like I said again, all self-contained. I don't know a whole lot about building computers, so this is going to be my first one I'm building. So I wanted everything to try to be as easy as it possibly could be right off the bat. And then that is being installed in a Asus Rampage Black Edition motherboard. Oh, the liquid cooler, by the way, right now is going for $95.98 on Outlet PC. I'll put a PC part picker list in the description below the video, so you guys can go and check it out in further detail. But the motherboard, it had 8 slots for RAM, looked pretty sick. I don't really know a whole lot about motherboards, so I tried to pick a good one. That one's going for $416.89 on Super Blitz. It's an LGA 2011 motherboard, obviously. Since I chose that processor, I have a pretty limited selection on motherboards. Asus has pretty high reviews, so that's kind of why I went with that one. Hopefully it has enough expandability options for me in the future to add different things. I don't know what those are going to be yet, but hopefully later on down the road I'm not having to swap out motherboards just to get better parts. So keeping that in mind and moving right along, the RAM I chose was G-Skill Ripjaw Z series, 8 4-gig sticks for a total of 32 gigs to start the build with. It's DDR3 2133. Now on PC parts picker, they gave me some sort of an error at the bottom saying the memory operating voltage of 1.6 volts exceeds the Intel Ivy Bridge E CPU recommended maximum of 1.5 volts plus 5%, 1.575 volts. The memory module may run at a reduced clock rate to meet the 1.5 volt recommendation, or may require running at a voltage greater than the Intel recommended maximum. So, yeah. I don't really know what that all means, but I'm guessing I'm going to have to do something to the build to be able to allow the memory to run at its 2133 speed. So if somebody could post in the comments below how I have to do that, or what steps I should follow, or if there's a video that explains how to do that. I'm pretty sure I'm not the only one that's ever installed this RAM and this motherboard, so maybe somebody can give me some guidance on that. As for storage, a couple of guys I've been talking to think I'm a little crazy, but again, I have to continually remind everybody that this is a video editing PC build, not a gaming build. So for the operating system and all the programs, I went with a Samsung 840 EVO 250 gig solid state drive, which, oh, again, I forgot. The memory is $315.98 on Newegg. But the solid state drive is $104.99 on Amazon right now. That's going to house, again, the operating system and all my programs, so hopefully that'll keep everything snappy. I'm not going to be putting any media or content of any kind on the drive other than, again, operating system and programs. That's it. The media drives, I'm going to be using Seagate Barracuda 1 terabyte drives. There's going to be 1, 2, 3, 5 of them. They're 7,200 RPM mechanical drives. They are $49.49 a piece with a $5 mail-in rebate at Outlet PC. I'm going to do those, and I'm not quite sure if I'm going to do some sort of a RAID configuration yet, or if I want to just keep them all separately and then just save everything separately myself, and then maybe save certain things to multiple drives as needs arise through some sort of a software solution or something like that. I'm not really sure what I'm going to be doing, how I'm going to be hooking those up to save information. Some people are saying I should link up a couple drives to increase performance and redundancy, but I've never, again, built a PC before, much less built a RAID array with hard drives. So that's going to be a learning experience there. So I guess we'll see when that happens what I'm going to be doing. As far as video cards, I'm running dual video cards. The MSI GeForce GTX 970 4 gig twin Frozer video card. That's a mouthful. It is $354.98 on Super Blitz. I chose this card for kind of like a price, you know, I was shooting more on price there, but this one, hopefully, in theory, if I can get everything set up correctly, is going to be doing a lot of the work inside Adobe Premiere and After Effects and Photoshop and all that good stuff. Off the top of my head, I don't know how many CUDA cores it has, so I'm hopping over to Newegg. Big shout out to them. Thank you for making a phenomenal website and making everything so easy to try to look up. 1,664 CUDA cores. So hopefully that will increase my performance when video editing. Hopefully Adobe can take advantage of those CUDA cores and accelerate things so I don't have to wait so long for rendering and other stuff. So the case, if anybody's watching that has talked to me personally within the past couple weeks, I'm just going to be blunt. This was hell trying to figure out a case. I'm a car and a bike guy, so style is kind of a little bit important for me. I wanted something that was cool looking but wasn't like over the top with, you know, lights and movable parts and all this other stuff all over the place. But I wanted something that was cool. Everybody that knows me knows inevitably I always end up with something that's red. So I just decided to swallow my pride and go with stuff that was red this time, because I always usually end up with stuff that's red anyway. So I picked the Bitfenix Shinobi Window XL Black. That is going for $170.73 on M-Wave, which I've never really heard of. Not sure if I'll buy from them, but that's the cheapest price, I guess, according to PC Part Picker. I needed something that had a lot of room inside the case, so that way I didn't have to buy another case in the future if I needed to expand, add more hard drives. I also needed something that had I also needed something that had a lot of external drive bays, and I'll get to that in a little bit. I was looking at the Bitfenix, I think it was the Colossus. They have a couple different versions of that. They have like a red one, well, it's red and black. They have a blue and white one, and I think they have a Venom edition. I originally thought that might be kind of cool, but it had enough drive bays in the front, but it had like this funky door thing on the front, and initially I was like, oh cool, it looks kind of sweet, it lights up red on the front, still has kind of a classy look to it, and has this door so I can hide everything on the front. And then I chose a couple other components, and then that door isn't going to work. And then I was looking at an Antec 1900, I believe it is, and that case is massive, looks awesome. If it had one more drive bay, I probably would have picked that one because of the expandability options that it had. But it didn't really get very good reviews online, so hopefully this Bitfenix Shinobi Window XL in black will have everything I need. Next I've got the power supply. It is a Corsair RM1000, 80 plus gold certified fully modular ATX power supply. I'm gonna be honest here. Everybody says Corsair makes good stuff, so I kind of took everybody's recommendation on that. I guess 80 plus gold efficiency is kind of a good thing, and everybody says you should go with like 1,000-watt power supply or higher, especially if you're running like dual graphics cards and a bunch of hard drives and other things. So I picked that. That is $129 on Newegg. I guess fully modular is kind of cool. I'm not really sure what that means, but I was told that it's nice to have, so I just went ahead and got one. I'm not really sure. Again, I've never built a PC before, so I'm just going to stress that quite a few times here. So I'm not really quite too sure what I'm doing. I'm trying to pick things that kind of go together and going off of a lot of videos on YouTube and friends' recommendations and things like that. Next, I've got a Blu-ray burner. I wanted to have a Blu-ray burner. I've seen a lot of builds online where people don't even have an optical drive, but for my needs, I definitely want to have one. So I went with an LG WH16NS40, and everybody wonders why I have my laptop up for model numbers. It's ridiculous. But anyway, it's $49.99 at Micro Center for that guy. That's a Blu-ray, DVD, CD burner rewriter. So not really a whole lot to say. It's a CD drive. So the monitor. This was another thing I was struggling with, and something to try to keep the cost of the build down, that I'm probably going to add a second one later. But the first one I'm going to use right now is an Asus PA248Q 24.1 inch monitor. And I thought this was kind of cool. It's $284.52 on Amazon for the monitor. But I thought this was kind of cool because it'll swivel. It's got a bunch of adjustments, so I can turn it vertically for like if I'm doing typing or something like that, or I'm reading. I can flip it the other way, obviously, most of the time. I'll probably have it flipped horizontal for most of the time I'm working with it. And then eventually I'm going to add a second one, possibly even a third one. So I have to get a bigger desk before I can do that. So for right now I'm just going to stick with one. Now the keypad, you guys are probably going to laugh a little, but I really like this keyboard. It's the Razer Deathstalker Ultimate. It has like a really sweet, I'm going to do an unboxing of it once I actually get it, but it has this really sweet like LCD touchscreen thing going on the right side. I don't really know why it's marketed as a gaming keyboard in that regard. Otherwise you have a bunch of different keys that you can program. You can put different macros on the key, so you hit the key, does a bunch of different stuff. That's all cool. I would understand where from a gamer standpoint that would be useful, but from my standpoint it's not really that useful for multiple things. But I'm probably going to use those buttons and program them like in Photoshop to bring up like the magic wand or the zoom tool or things like that. But I guess there are a couple apps that you can download for the keyboard that support, I believe it was Adobe Premiere Pro and Photoshop. Don't quote me on that. I think Premiere Pro was one of them. But it programs those top 10 buttons, and then it shows like a picture of Adobe Premiere Pro's logo on the LCD touchpad, so that's kind of cool. I don't know, probably wasting a little bit of money there. That's kind of probably a luxury item, I guess, if you will. But I thought it was cool, so I'm going to get it, and if I don't like it, maybe I'll give it away as like a subscriber prize later on after I get a different keyboard or something like that. So moving along to the mouse, I like wireless mice, in case you might have noticed. I hate that stupid wire. It always gets tangled. The keyboard's wired, but the mouse, I like the freedom that you get with a wireless mouse. I've never really had a problem with it. Again, I'm not using it for gaming, but I picked more of a gaming oriented mouse so that I can program a few more buttons. So I chose the Razer Mamba 2012 Elite gaming mouse, and that's $99.95 on Amazon. The other reason why I chose that keyboard and that mouse is because if I'm going to be having a case that's lit up with red or white LEDs, I wanted to be able to kind of match everything. So my mouse will light up red or white, or the keyboard will light up red and white. I know, stupid, but it's the little details that kind of make or break something. So, and that one's wireless. It comes with like a cool little charging dock, so you can take the mouse and you can put it right on the dock. So that was kind of sweet too. And $100 might be a little bit too much for a mouse, but again, I like the wireless feature. So moving along now, case fans. I'm gonna have to hold off on that until I see what I've got as far as space in the case, where everything's placed, and I might change a couple fans out, see how loud everything is after I put it all together, and go from there. So that might get changed out later on in the build. But the second graphics card is the Asus GTX 750 Ti. And that's $144.99. I wanted that card because it had dual DVI outs, and that card is going to be doing nothing but running the monitors. The other graphics card is going to be doing a lot of the work with the CUDA cores, but this one is just going to be running the monitors. But I still wanted something that was decent. So that's why I went with that one. Again, not really a whole lot to say about that one. We're looking next. Now this is something that I kind of splurged on, but I thought it was kind of cool. And I was talking earlier about the Colossus case where it has the door on the front. I wanted the Asus Republic of Gamers front base which is going for $134.99, I believe, on Newegg right now. That thing's friggin' sweet looking. I'll be honest, there's two reasons why I wanted to get it. I knew I wanted to get some sort of a fan controller so that way when I'm doing videos like this, it didn't sound like my computer was about to take off and blast off into outer space. Otherwise, I don't really care about fan noise from the computer. I can kind of drown that out because I'm going to be using headphones when I edit anyway. But this thing just looks pretty sweet, and it has an overclock button. I don't really know a whole lot about, again, computer building, so I'm not too sure on how to overclock a processor. So hopefully it's honestly just as easy as reaching down, pushing the overclock button, and my processor's overclocked. And then I can turn it back off when I'm just, browsing the web or typing something in Microsoft Word. So we'll see how that goes there, but it just looks awesome, so I had to have it. Next is two Shinobi 5.25 inch drive bay covers. They're $9 a piece. I'm going to try to, one of them is going to go on the LG Blu-ray burner. Try to keep a little streamlined profile on the front other than the screen from the Asus front base. And then the other one I'm going to try to see if I can retrofit somehow onto the front of the last part, which is the Rosewill RDCR-11004 card reader, which is $22.99, I believe, again on Newegg. I'm going to try to retrofit that to the front of the card reader so that way it just looks a little cleaner on the front. There's a couple other things I'm going to do to the case. Obviously add lights inside of it because it's got a window. I'm not going to go too crazy on it. If you look at the picture of the case, and maybe I'll post a picture up while I'm talking, but there's plenty of videos online of the people. There's these mesh strips that go up the front and across the top of the case. They pop those out and paint them a different color. I'm probably going to paint mine red, and then I might run like a kind of a dimly lit LED strip of some kind in there, just kind of make it look kind of cool. And then there's a BitPhoenix logo on the front that I saw a video on YouTube of a guy that removed that and then used some plastic and then lit that up on the front. I just thought that was kind of a nice little touch. That's probably all I'm going to be doing, modifying the case. So I think that is about it as far as parts. So the total, I was trying to stay around $2,000 to $2,500. That didn't happen. So I ended up, my base total is $3139.40, and I have about $45 in mail-in rebates, about $7.98 in shipping. So I'm looking at a total of around $3102.38. Like I said earlier, I'm going to be planning on adding another monitor. There's a couple other things I want to add, like a Wacom tablet, Wacom tablet. It's a pen and touch medium. Maybe adding that, possibly a bigger desk. So altogether, I'm trying to shoot for around $3,500 for a budget. So again, this is strictly a video editing PC. I've never built one before, so I'm going to try and get some more videos up as the parts come in. Hopefully my voice will hold out next week and I can get another video out for you. As always, guys, like and subscribe, that really helps. I'm going to be doing a giveaway for my 10th subscriber, my 50th subscriber, my 100th subscriber, and then every milestone thereafter. So make sure you guys hit that subscribe button, like it if you like it, dislike it if you dislike it, leave a comment, let me know. If you have questions, you can shoot me an email or a comment and I'll try to answer them. Make sure you check out our website at www.eliteavs814.com. That just went live, as well as you can check out our Facebook I post on there periodically. I have a couple projects in the works right now, so as I get further along with those, I'll let you guys in, and you can take a look at those. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.